Question number 12, Stuart Nash.
To the Minister of Police, how many additional staff hours will it take for police to attend every reported burglary?
The Honourable Judith Collins.
Mr Speaker, the additional staff hours required will of course depend on the circumstances of each reported dwelling burglary, which of course is what the member should have referred to.
Order. 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 As Mr Brownlee pointed out earlier, we've clearly got a problem with the microphones. The question that just was asked has not been heard well, and it's certainly through no fault of the Minister, I assure you. It's the level of chatter that's occurring in some parts of the chamber that's not helping. I'm going to invite the member to ask the primary question again.
Speaker, to the Minister of Police, how many additional staff hours will it take for police to attend every reported burglary?
And before I call the Minister, the Right Honourable Winston Peters, I've asked for quiet. I'd be grateful if you'd also cooperate. The Honourable Judith Collins.
Mr Speaker, the additional staff hours required will, of course, depend on the circumstances of each reported dwelling burglary, which, of course, is what the member should have referred to rather than every reported burglary.
Supplementary question. Order. Stuart Nash.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Is she really telling the House that she has instigated a major policy requiring the police to undertake significantly more work, and yet she has no idea of the implications for the hard-working police officer on the front line?
The Honourable Judith Collins.
Well, of course not, Mr Speaker. That member may have missed the excellent press release released by the Commissioner of Police on the 27th of June 2016, when he noted it was his policy that dwelling burglaries would now be considered a priority offence, not a volume crime as was acceptable under the previous Labor government.
Supplementary.
Order. Supplementary question, Stuart Nash.
What does she have to say to the police officer who said to the Herald, quote, "We're expected to keep crime down, burglaries down, and there's way more people, way more crime," end quote, considering she has now required this officer to do more work without any more resources?
The Honourable Judith Collins.
Mr Speaker, well, given that the Police Commissioner is the person who set in place the policy, and by the way, I fully agree with that decision of his, I'd say to that police officer, he or she should be very pleased that they have a minister, a government, a commissioner that supports them, as opposed to that member who attacks the police quite personally almost every opportunity he has.
Supplementary question, Stuart Nash.
Well, in response to that, when 60% of police say they don't have enough training, and almost 60% say they can't deliver on the promises they make to the public, and almost 60% say they have too much stress in their job, how can she load them with so much more work without an increase in police numbers?
The Honourable Judith
Well,
Collins.
Mr Speaker, so many questions, and it's actually quite easy, really. The police are backed 100% by this government. We have put on 600 extra police, but also $400 million extra in the budget than they ever had under a previous government.
Order. Supplementary question, Stuart Nash.
Thank you. When she announced this policy, was she actually aware that burglaries in our communities have increased by around 8,600 or 14% over the last 12 months to over 70,000 burglaries per year?
The Honourable Judith Collins.
I don't know how many times I have to tell that member, but the policy decision was actually announced by the Commissioner of Police on Monday, the 27th of June 2016 at 4:04 p.m. I'm happy to provide that member with a link so he knows where the police website is. But having said that, I can also tell him that on average in the 12 policing districts, there are 8 dwelling burglaries a day. Police already attend 70% of those on average. And actually, I think dwelling burglaries are very important. They are a home invasion and people should expect a response.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Stuart Nash.
Thank you very much to the Minister. So if the police attend 70% of burglaries at the moment, they're going to have to attend another 30%. Where are they going to find the resources to undertake this?
The Honourable Judith Collins.
Mr Speaker, the Commissioner has assured me that they can, and I'm sure they will.
21,000 burglaries, no extra staff.
Order. And that concludes question or oral answer.